All right, and we are lifting off with Apollos and Earth Wake.
Good.
Chris.
Yeah, good, David.
Oh, man, David looks for a jump shot. Ball is still in play. Elizabeth manages to get it back out to Addison, but she is meet on the side. No, she's got that ball out. Peck is going to try to hold it where it is, and Chris is going to be reset because he stepped over. If he reached for it in front of the midline, he would have been fine. Oh, man. And start the day off right. Get your shots. Earthquake thanking the goal ref for one of the easiest calls. Apollos now, let's see how they set up their half court. Dwyer starting to call his passes, starting to organize the offense a little bit. Lombardi now sets it back up to Dwyer. Dwyer tips it over that hoop, manages to get his receiving chaser in. Number 64 manages to pop it back in the backside. Both sides do work in quad ball. If you can't get it through the front, get it through the back. All right, beater pair of Jordy and Nico is now stepping into the half court. Chris waiting patiently on his beaters. It was a nice adjustment after the Atlantic game. We'd like to see them slow it down a little bit. And rips it again. I can't believe there's a shooter on Earthquake. Look at Chris out here popping shots. Goal is 2010 Earthquake. Apollo still trying to take off a little bit, but they are on the board. We're going to see if we trade blow for blow. This is already a much faster paced game than Earthquake versus Dragons. Just more controlled offenses. Lombardi and Dwyer still operating off of each other. Using their beaters to create a zone. Dwyer starting to step into the keeper zone. Lombardi now looks for his side pass, but loses the quaffle out there. It manages to get a kickoff, but Addison gets a hand on it. Lombardi is going to finish that goal.
That's all right. That's unlucky.
Fortunately, the ball just bounced all the way back to Lombardi, although Zach Thompson is trying to get a ref call. Something might have impacted gameplay. Might not be lucky enough if Thompson sees something. Goal is being called off. Party is being called beat before the release. Maybe beat before picking it up, I'm not sure. Lombardi does want to emphasize that the goal was cool, and he is in fact correct. Addison's getting the ball out on the wing. Gets blocked off, but Jordy is there with a bludger. Addison facilitating back to David Gant. David is now looking for his window, but it gets blocked off. Not quite as high a shot as Chris's, but that kick is going to go all the way back, and that is almost definitely going to be a turnover unless it was kicked by Apollos. I guess that was a kick by Apollos. I saw a foot. I just didn't see whose. Since Apollos launched it back, Earthquake is getting a free full reset out of this. We are going to have to stop and do the worst kind of math. Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4 bludgers. I don't know who, I don't know how, but someone snuck a fourth bludger onto the pitch. Kill it! It's gone. Our head ref has assaulted a fence with a bludger. Law enforcement has been notified. Fortunately, RPD is tame enough. And bludger control is going to stay on the side of Earthquake. I'm not sure what the process is for making that decision. Apparently.
Hey, Chris, keep that top off.
David is looking for another play, gets it off to Addison, but the ball is going to roll its way off pitch. All right, Lombardi starting with the ball up on Apollo's side. Apollo's coordinating where the chasers are going. Ball set back to Dwyer. Dwyer is now looking to facilitate out the left side. Waiting on the lane. Ooh, that might end up being a card. Looks like it's not. They're just giving it a goal, and that's fine. That was just a messy contact at the hoop. Both teams now 2 goals on the board. Earth and Space all tied up. And Chris overshoots that pass by quite a bit to Elizabeth Schwartz. Elizabeth is very tall, but not that tall. Lombardi and Dwyer now operating from the right side of the pitch. Maybe a little camera shy. Getting further away from us here.
I just point them back and forth.
Operating where their beaters are, though. If you watch where they're passing the ball, they seem to be moving it primarily where their beaters are operating. Operating out the right side. Lombardi overshoots. That was definitely a pass to a spaceship. We're going to see if this half court cleans up a little bit. Both teams with a very strong half court early on the offense, but now starting to shape back up in the defenses, starting to loosen up a little bit in the offense. We'll see if it keeps this way. Lombardi looking for a Band-Aid. He's been wounded. I'm down. The suit's been compromised. Houston. Thwaite sets the ball off to Schwartz, who gets it off to Addison, now looking for her next pass. Almost a shot. Gets it off to David Gant. His help is beat. He gets the ball lobbed up. It is now in Audrey's hand. I'm sorry, that is not Addison. That is Audrey. Audrey gets a little bit of momentum on it, but not quite the shot she wants. I do know from first-hand experience she is a pretty mean shooter in her own right, so we are going to see if she comes back into this looking for a shot lane. Wake now with Steph and Jordy in the beater play with control. Probably going to see a very conservative play on defense from them. Stephanie elects to remove the beaters and maintain control at the cost of a goal, but it is going to get them a third bludger on their half of the pitch. Chris is going. He's punched his ticket. He's on the train. It is in the station, and he is going home. Coast to coast from Earthquake.
Hey, Jack.
Namely due to the beater plays of Steph and Jordy. Score is now 30 to both teams. It's amazing what a smart, conservative beater decision can turn into a scoring opportunity, going the other way. And Earthquake still with bludger control means that trade-off is probably worth it. We're going to see if Apollo's changes the way they apply their offense, or maybe if they'll try to switch back to defense a little bit faster on this one.
Watch the far right, back corner.
See if they utilize that second beater, but they do not. They do throw that pass a little high, and I think regardless, that's going to end up being a turnover to Earthquake, who still has a conservative hold on the bludgers.
Go back.
A smart move by a very young Earthquake beater. Managed to keep that bludger all the way back. This new young roster is really starting to figure the game out. The leadership team is really getting it there. Chaser captain Steven back on the pitch now. Audrey starting to facilitate. We're going to operate out the right side with Steven. Now the bludgers are moving left, so we're going to see if Earthquake wants to move the ball back to where the bludgers are, or if they're going to try to hero ball it out in the back. And it looks like they elected to do the latter. The beaters are trying to get into the paint with the chasers, but this is kind of a mess. I say kind of, but it's absolutely a mess. He stepped back into the zone, though, and it's going to be a ball turnover back to Earthquake, I think, unless there's a card on the play. We'll see what the beaters come up with. We'll let them cook for a minute. See what comes out of the oven. Aiden's going to get a card for getting too rough with the keeper in their zone. All right, now we are probably going to see a transition goal going the other way for Apollos. Engines are going. That aggressive beater style is definitely going to pay off there. And that is the right approach to break down this defense. Hit them hard, hit them fast. This rotation for Wake beaters is going to have a harder time trading, but makes a really good opportunity cost assessment at every interval. So we're going to see if they can maybe get control back with some smart plays. Might be hard, though. This is a tough line to engage on. That Apollo's engage beater is not left to the field for quite some time. Audrey's going to get that ball back. She's going to lob it up to Steven. We're going to see if Steven looks for a shot or if he looks to facilitate. He managed to get that shot. Steven Allen, the shooter. Maybe taking notes from that game with Vallejo. He has figured out where that hoop is and how to get his hand to it. Now we are getting a transition goal going the other way from Apollos once again. If they're in a scrum cap, they're driving. Aiden manages to get him to the ground. Makes a little bit of contact after the fact. I think Brandon's going to call that a card. Looks like that is going to hit the teacup and be Earthquake's ball, but that's going to turn into a stoppage because that AR is going to call probably a card on Aiden, if I had to guess. Probably for re-engaging from behind on a player that may or may not have had a ball. One of the things about young athletic rosters is they get very zealous and they get really quickly into contact. Sometimes it doesn't go so well. A second yellow this early in the match would be a little rough on Aiden.
Oh no, I was joking that too much for that to be a loop. Contact to the back! Number 21, Earthquake! It will be admitted in the box or until Apollo scores!
Yeah, so they're going to want to make a substitution earlier on to avoid that red card because the red card is going to be a little bit harder to come back from. And Apollos are going to quickly... And we've got a broken hoop, and it's specifically mine. All right. We are going to have to stop for equipment, so I am going to put this on pause, and we are going to revisit when the hoop is replaced. All right, we are back on the air, I think. Yep. Did manage to replace my precious baby hoop. My poor bases. I don't know if there's any left. I think I might have one burl base left. They didn't come easy. It took so much work.
Hard come, hard go.
Hard come, easy go. The ears keep coming and they keep on coming.
So as soon as play restarts, you're off the room, go tag up.
Score is 50-40 in favor of Apollos. Stephanie facilitating the beater play for Earthquake. Audrey now with the ball. Setting it back to Steven. Steven pump faking. Audrey now looking for her shot. Manages to set a pass off to Toby Jenkins, who fumbles it. It's going to be an unfortunate beat. Aiden manages to get a hand on it. He is going to go all the way to the hoop if he can. Gets it out to Audrey. Audrey gets it out to Steven, but Steven is having a hard time gripping it. Manages to get his hand on the ball. That beater got a catch. There it is! Steven Allen! Every good shot needs a sequel. I am literally close to crying about some of the shots. It's so pretty. They're inspiring. Now, Apollo's half court is admittedly looking pretty polished right now. Even with Lombardi and Dwyer not on the field, they are still focusing on moving the quaffle where the bludgers are. Moving the quad ball where the bludgers are. Utilizing tap beats to encroach. Now, they're not passing. They are just legging it around, which is going to turn into a quick turnover when you've got defenders like Josh Peck and Toby Jenkins on defense. Peck's using those legs, and Toby's using his reach, playing to your strengths. That is the real secret to a good defense. Utilize your resources. Now, with DiCaprio and Peck, a very experienced beater pair coming out of the Carolinas, and a very fast and admittedly pretty sneaky beater pair. We're going to see if they cook up something on this offense. Looks like a very impatient shot, though. Once again, Earthquake needs to slow it down on offense with the quaffle play. Quad play, sorry. There's no F in the sport anymore. DiCaprio almost with her patented steal. She is essentially a cat burglar. If you lose sight of her, she will steal that bludger. Very comfortable operating from the shadows. Beaters are going to clear Cat out of the play. Try to come back into the offense. They throw a bludger away, though, on the point hitter because they got too separated. 64 now trying to get into it. Peck waits it out and manages to snipe that beat. Aiden's now trying to go all the way, but he's got wrapped up by 64. Gets the ball out to Steven Allen. Steven gets sniped from a pivot beat from number 9 on Apollos. And another spear. Aiden might be finding his way out of this game unless this is just an injury stoppage. We're going to turn away. Not sure if it was clean, but it was hard. We're going to take a brief pause. We'll resume when the medics have gotten attention to the injured player. We are back. There was a yellow card converted into a red, so Wake will have a minute down a chaser. Chris Hamel just filling that time. He's not the carded player. We've been graced by a Chapel Hill alumni. Stephen Allen, though, manages to turn this into an opportunity to score, manages to lose the ball halfway through, though. Audrey following up on the wing. Josh Peck is fighting for his life with everyone on the field. DiCaprio looking for a stealth play on that bludger. She can get fist up now. Manages to kick it back into her teammate. And a classic swipe dodge from Peck. Apollo's rushed a transition opportunity and managed to shoot it over the hoops. We might have an injury stoppage. 64 is stumbling to get support. It's the closest one. It's not who throws it off anymore. Yeah, it's whoever's nearest to it gets it. It's a little silly. Unless it's a deliberate off-pitch throw, then yeah, it's whoever's nearest.
Make some good passes, y'all. Keep space.
I got yelled at for that once when I was reffing a game. They got they got real upset about it.
5-all.
Yep, score is 5-5. I believe the time is at 13 minutes. Oh, okay. Who shot that one? Was that Steven over here in the keeper? This one? Okay. Steven with the hat trick. I almost wish I was calling it in real time. That would have been a good highlight. Oh, I think Mike. Yeah.
One more minute, y'all. Keep fighting.
Doesn't change much of the approach in the offense. Just because you know you're down to chaser doesn't mean you can form for it. Lombardi is back on the pitch, though. He is looking for that. He rips a drive shot with authority. Some high energy plays from Lombardi today. Not unexpected. Student taking much needed sub is handing the ball off to Addison. And we're going to see Noah Neiman now. We are having the more physical side of the Earthquake lineup, but with the speed and tacticality of Peck DiCaprio as a beater set. Coordinating with Toby. Let's see if they work something out here. Toby might be operating in the paint. Not sure why they sent the ball to the right when the beaters are operating on the left. Lombardi is out hustling for that ball, but Chris Hamel meets him, but not enough. Lombardi is just too high level today. He is on his A game. This game is 60-60 still. 70-60. Okay. Gotta get a score update. That's 70 for Apollos, right? Yeah. Earthquake has been keeping in it in the shooter game, though. Now with Chris Hamel in chasing, let's see how he adapts his gameplay. And it's a quick turnover, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a throw out.
And Lombardi rings the bell on the left hoop. What was in that Band-Aid? Right? There is something in his hands. 80-60 Apollos now. Earthquake is having to climb back up now. It's because you've never played against Tanner Morris.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I'm just kidding. Tanner and Joe were like rivals for a little while. In the South. I haven't heard that name in quite some time.
See your pass out. See your pass out.
Noah's trying to get dexterity on the ball. Again, though, Lombardi is making this his show today. Chris Hamel is just going to take Lombardi and put him through the hoop. You got to lift with your legs, Chris. You got to... Lombardi is going all the way again. No, he gets it off to Dwyer, that connection. Lombardi is finally gassed. Get him out of here. 90-60 Apollos. We are... Let's play life, he says. Our astute viewers will notice that life is like a box of chocolates, as Earthquake is starting to form a box shape. Chris is looking for his lane. He does make a beautiful execution of a drive shot, just unfortunately misses the target a little bit. Peck and Hannah are doing a good job of getting bludger control and keeping it. And tips it over the tall hoop. And Noah finally gets a hand on it. Green scrum cap, green headband. Not sure you're allowed to wear a green hat under a green headband, though. I think they require conflicting colors. Not sure. Results inconclusive. This is why we take the ref test before we commentate. I missed that step.
Hey, Toby! 2!
We're going to see if these boxes can board the space shuttle in this half court. Chris is looking for his window. The beaters are operating out the right side. Earthquake passes now to the right where the beaters are operating. We'll see if Noah can find a lane. It is blocked off by a chaser. Apollo's hitting the gas pedal a little presumptuously, though. And a snipe from Jordy. Toby just rips it, though. You gotta hang on to those. Calculated shots, not desperate. We gotta look for those. But a very good stop by Earthquake.
If you had made that, that would have gone in.
I'm glad the camera didn't catch that. It did. I was to the left. He was off. Yeah. Just a friendly I love you from Toby to Lee. Oh man, and Apollo beaters are just eating bludgers right now. And maintaining them.
Hey, what's the time?
I think 1843. Fight like it's Noah's Ark, and there's a third monkey. Oh man. All right. Apollo is now in a slow half court, trying to keep bludger control going into this flag play. 65 does not want the reset just yet, but not entirely convinced this is an attempt to score. Very comfortable just hanging out by the midline, Apollos. And Chris with a nice stop.
1930.
We are almost at flag release. Hannah looking to see if she can take a bludger off of 28. There is no advancement in the play. Came off broom for that throw. Waffle is going to go the way of Earthquake. And Jordy capitalizing on some beater play. The bludgers are all on the ground.
20 minutes.
We're seeing some hustle from Earthquake, but Apollos are meeting them high. Whether it's offense or defense, Apollos seem comfortable playing on the midline. We are now on the intermission. We're going to take a brief pause and resume when the flag is coming out. And a special treat for you today, the seeker Joshua Peck, the famous corgi, is going to catch this flag, he says, in about 13 seconds. Otherwise, he has to adopt 3 more cats.
Oh, I was going to chill out on the sidelines. 6 cats sounds great.
6 cats good. 6 cats good.
Beck, are you gonna do the run up?
His wife is going to be so thrilled when he doesn't catch this flag and they have 3 more cats. This might actually be a good seeker matchup, Peck versus Lee. Now, they are going to get a quick goal on the board for Apollo's going into this, so we are now 160. Apollo's well on their way to closing this out. There's a reason they were applying stall tactics towards the end of that halftime to get to flag play. They really want those bludgers, smartly so, for the flag runner. Ironically, though, with one bludger, Earthquake seems to have locked down the flag runner. Trying to keep an eye on both halves of the game right now. There's a lot of beater trades, but there is a transition going the other way for Apollos, and they are going to find that fairly effortlessly. This is only going to be worth it for Earthquake if Earthquake can get this flag. Peck is really going to town with Lee Hodge. I'll tell you, a lot of people are scared of medium to large sized dogs, but the scariest dogs are in fact corgis. They got all that butt. Earthquake throws away a very hard pass. Peck is going to try to pull it with his feet here. Lee is just manhandling this poor corgi. Can I zoom? Can we zoom? Yeah, we are getting some prime flag play out here for that tag out. It was a courting ritual. He's married. They're both married. Apparently Stephanie supports this this forbidden romance of flag and seeker. The rule book might not support it, but the wife certainly does. We have an injury on the field. We are going to look for a stoppage as that turnover happens. We are going to experiment at the... There we go. We can zoom a little bit. Having to hold the tripod up in a weird way, but we can zoom a little bit. Seeker play might be more entertaining than the quaffle play. If Wake's going to climb back into this, starting to feel like they put all their eggs in the seeker basket, but it might be too late to bail out of it now. Oh. All right, we've got a card on an Earthquake chaser, so maybe seeing a... That might have been a beat before the throw. All right. Chris, can I get you to crouch? We're just really trying to catch this soap opera romance of Peck and Lee. Oh, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's not boding well, though. There's just too many people involved in this relationship. The other team's got a beater and a seeker in his way. But, you know, when it's real, you'll fight for it. There he goes. The Apollo's half court has been pretty controlled. Pretty focused on Lombardi. Oh, he gets sniped by Jordy, though. Jordy definitely the unsung hero of Earthquake in this match. Creating a lot of opportunities here. They've got to advance the ball, though. It looks like we are comfortable just hanging out. There's still no advance of the Quaffle. The Quaffle's just kind of hanging out. There we go. And there it is. Unfortunately, a lack of stall warnings might actually be impacting the game pacing. I don't doubt that Apollos can get these goals, but they are taking their sweet time getting bludger control doing it. No pressure coming in from enforcement, unfortunately. And we got a new seeker in. Looks like Peck gave up on the Forbidden Romance, and Chris Hamel is now taking a crack at Hodge.
Let's go, Chris!
And another turnover in the half court is going to lead to a transition goal by, surprise, surprise, Lombardi. Oh, beat before he gets to that goal. Apollo is going to reset the ball. Matt Dwyer gets it off to 64. 64 gets a quick dump. That is just straight hustle coming from Apollos here in the transition goals. And finally, a beat off on the seeker, and we have Hamel getting out of the play for a second.
I must have changed this before. I accidentally hit it twice.
We are approaching game point from Apollos. Earthquake's really got to fix their rhythm here. That looked possibly good. Bludgers are coming back in. Steph's having to hustle back in. And David Gant with the transition goal. Oh, just rips it a bit high. You got to look for a push shot on those drive opportunities. Ripping high, it's going to be a lot harder full sprint to focus that aim. Beater's not content with letting Hamill have that seeker, or have that flag. Hodge goes for a quick broom tap. Comfortable waiting out the rest of this match, Hodge. He's going to allow the defensive seeker to hang out. Dwyer now operating at the edge of the keeper zone. Dave Gant is now going to get a redo, and he crosses up Dwyer, gets all the way in the paint. David Gant, NC State, showing up today.
David, great work out there, buddy.
Oh, Hamel with a very effective swat gets the third bludger out. Unfortunately, this is not a place for a high press, and Lombardi with precision. Looks like that is going to be ball game. Matchup definitely belonging to Lombardi today, but a lot of good showings from both teams.